Hello everybody and welcome back to East for the Dawn of East. We need to get through that door. That's harder than it sounds. One of the really mean things about this area is that this final dungeon is filled with places that can take either a not long at all or an extremely long time, like forever and a day is a good estimate. And all of the segments of the final dungeon of Dawn of East, this would be the one that hates me the most. Not just because of its maze-like qualities. And, you know, there are lots of fast enemies that hurt you a bunch. But it also involves a lot of fighting in very narrow spaces against fast enemies that are actually, most of them are immune to magic. And they keep on respawning everywhere, so there's no real place to stop and get a good heal until you're near the end. Oh dearie. What makes it even worse are the it's very easy to get lost for a while. And once you find the right path, you're gonna feel like an idiot for not spotting it sooner. This is a very player-hostile area of Dawn of East. Not that many of the endgame areas of Mask of the Sun were any better. Now, because I don't like dying, I'll just use my herb here. I guess it wouldn't be so bad if Falcon the had actually decided to give you some kind of weapon upgrade between, you know, Darm Tower and the end of the game. But that just wasn't in the cards. Unless you go for the secret equipment, of course. No, wait, that's not the heal ring. This is the heal ring. I'll be seeing you soon. Okay. The first boss of the final dungeon is the Bell Gargoyles. Remember how I said Bammy has suffered from YouTube's frame display rate? These guys really suffer from it. There will be times where it looks like I will be taking damage from nothing, but I assure you there is something there. It's just that the frame rate doesn't work well with the effects they use to create a kind of false transparency with game sprites. Because this game normally runs at 60 frames per second. So, there are a few problems here. First is dodging homing projectiles. And second is finding a good way to hit these guys without getting stomped. And once you reduce them below a certain amount of health, they suddenly get three-way shots. They will shoot a couple of projectiles alongside both their homing projectiles and their lasers. very dangerous boss fight, but still not as nasty as the boss of Tori's Tomb. And for our trouble, we get the seal key. By the way, we can't actually warp to an earlier point in the dungeon, because warping will only take us to towns. The next warp point is behind the door we had to grab the key to unlock in the first place. So it's back through the gauntlet. Once again, this is only tolerable with the Turbo CD audio. Yeah, these kinds of vicious maze-like qualities are once again something that shows off Falcom's PC development heritage. Because there wasn't a late-game dungeon in the 80s that wasn't incredibly painful and player-hostile like the Stygian Abyss or Doom in the Ultima series. And this is LaFonce's Tomb. Oh yeah, these pedestals allow you to rewatch cutscenes.
I can hear Aram's pulse. The mask of the sun is enshrined in the deepest depths of the Temple of the Sun. But to enter the temple, you must break the barriers in the two adjoining towers. They are strong in order to protect the Speaking Stone. Swordsman, this magic was meant to be eternal, but in light of Aram's awakening, the seal will soon be destroyed. Gather all of the Claria equipment and return to me. At that time, the power of Eldoron, the seventh magic, will be granted unto you. Now go, find Garuda, and recover the Claria sword.
Okay, because I handled the Silver Fortress much faster than I expected, we're actually going to be doing one of the two towers here. But before that, LaFonce's Tomb is the last warp point in the game, which allows us to go back and do a couple of things. First off, we are going to buy the elixir. This is very important because this is actually the only healing item you can carry into the final boss fight. We're going to get another herb in case of mishaps, and get a bunch of stuff restored. Now, I said that we were going to... Oh, there you guys are. Because you people were also on the lake. I said that we could get General Leo's equipment before, and now we're actually going to go do that. You need to do a couple of things first. You need to call Roos a bunch of times at places where you can call him after you've exhausted Karna's letters. And he will give you ingredients, and the one you need is a root, and you also need the Batu Ash from Laparo Village. You mix those two together at the Alchemist's, because you need the potion that comes from it, the clear potion, in order to bypass this guy. Potion makes you invisible. Sword, armor, shield. And now with no one the wiser, we can just head on out. Okay, the General Leo equipment is actually stronger than the Claria equipment. It's about a grade above. However, we're not going to be using it, because it would make the final dungeon too easy, and second, it doesn't actually work on the final boss anyway. Like LaFont said, we need the Claria sword, so we're going to set about putting things in motion to do that. Okay, this is first of the two towers, the Zanria Tower. We're getting a lot of experience from monsters, but we're not going to stop to grind quite yet, because there's something else to talk about here. Hey, doesn't this look kind of familiar? Well, it should. These are the Ruins of No Return from earlier in the game, where we chased Tim and Gaddis. But now that we have the seal key, we can go through a bunch of places that we couldn't before. So what you need to find around here is a door to a teleporter that can only be opened with the seal key. And you need to be careful, otherwise, you know, you'll end up back here. By the way, all of the holes that Dogi made going through here, they still work. Monsters don't care if walls live or die. The best way to find the door is to just start on the rightmost side. Any teleporters not behind a sealed door aren't the ones you want. And this'll take us here where we can grind. Now see these green things? They are a huge source of experience, but there's a problem. It's impossible to hit them normally without taking damage, no matter how you do it. Unless... Okay... You have the Samson's shoes, in which case you kill them instantly and receive no reciprocal damage. And you can gain quite a number of levels off of these things, at a practical pace. So, we're just gonna do that. Be seeing you soon. Okay, now we're ready to face the boss. And this is the first boss where the shield magic can actually be used. And a recycled dungeon requires a recycled boss. Meet Dharma Mark II. He fights mostly like Dharm did from the original versions of Ys 1 and 2. Except for those, well, giant energy shots that come from the top through the Black Pearl. However, because we exploited an experience fountain, he's pretty much no threat to us at all. We're doing a ton of damage, he's doing pretty much none to us compared to other things we've been fighting. And I think we hit him harder than he hits us. Don't get used to that, though. There's still a lot of boss left in this game. Well, actually only 2, but still. The final boss counts as a lot. Oh yeah, Dharm is down again. Oh well. Okay, now de-equip the shield magic before we use all of our MP. And now just head on back. What that did was allow us to enter the second tower, the Lunas Tower, which is the last place we need to go before the really last leg of the game. So, like I said, 4 dungeons. The Silver Fort, the Zanria Tower, the Lunas Tower, and the Temple of the Sun, where the Mask of the Sun resides. So we're just going to head over to the entrance of the Lunas Tower, which is on the other side of LaFonce's tomb. And here we go. And that's it for now. I will be seeing you next time where we climb the Lunas Tower and take on Garuda. See you then!